Welcome back, entrepreneurs and business enthusiasts, to another exciting episode of Talking Business with Ritz. Hey there, everybody. Hey there, Bam Bam. I'm your host, Ritzel Loredo-Rectra, and today we're diving into the world of public relation, PR, public relation. Okay, as we uncover the secrets to growing your brand regardless of its size. Now, remember, here on Talking Business with Ritz, we don't just showcase titles, okay? We unveil the humans behind the brands, offering insights and inspiration that humanize entrepreneurship. So make sure to drop your questions in the comments and stay tuned for the Q&A segment later, where we will feature your questions, of course, and provide specific answers. So also, if you are thinking to level up your streaming game, check out the link in the description to create your StreamYard account. All right, Bam Bam. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. All right. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Channel handle is at Loredo-Rectra. All right. Now grab your notepads and get ready to learn from the expert. Let's jump in. All right, we are now in the Know the Expert segment and get ready to meet an amazing guest today. Okay, now we are thrilled to have a seasoned PR expert joining us on the show. She specializes in, of course, PR, public relation for brands in the lifestyle space. With over 25 years of strategic communications experience, our guest is here to share her invaluable insights into mastering the PR and growing your brand regardless of its size. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let me prepare the stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest, Amy Bartko.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much.
Yes, we are thrilled to have you here on the show. How are you today, Amy?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to dive into all the juicy tips and tricks for PR today with you and your audience.
All right, that is good to know. And now it's time to discover the person behind the title. Are you ready, Amy?
I'm ready.
All right, you are born ready. All right, let's go. All right, now our first question: who is Amy Bartko on a personal level?
So I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I've lived here, oh my goodness, like most of my life. And I have two children, two boys, 10 and 17. My 17-year-old is about ready to go to college. Not until next year, but it's still, we're doing the college tour. So that's all kind of fun. And yeah.
All right. You are soon to be an empty nester, is it?
Well, I have a 10-year-old, so it will be a while before
Okay.
I'm empty nesting, but I'll
right.
have one out of the nest, which will still kind of feel weird, but I'm excited for him to go and explore what he is destined to do for his life.
Good. Now, could you briefly let us know, how did your path began as a PR expert?
That's a great question. So I have been in marketing for over 25 years, and about 16 years ago, in my marketing field of advertising and medical sales, I, became a work-at-home mom, which, was really kind of a new invention, 16 years ago. Not very many people were doing it, but so many people do it today. So I was definitely early in that game. And it came knocking on my door. So being in, a marketing expert, PR was really kind of a natural fit. And I, fell into it and was introduced to the lifestyle space and really grew my business from there.
All right. I love hearing my guest origin story, how they started and became who they are today. Now, let's get to know Amy on a more personal level. So, are you ready for a lightning question? Round of fun questions.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite word and why?
My favorite word and why. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
um, oh wow. Amazing. I feel like there are so many amazing things, in the world, and I absolutely live in the gain and not in the gap. I don't know if
Mhm.
you're familiar with Dan Sullivan's book, The Gap and the Gain, but I, pride myself in, living in the gain. So I feel that, I live life in that trajectory. Amazing.
All right. Now, next question. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Definitely a morning person. In this winter season, I have been sleeping in a little bit longer than I normally do, but usually I'm up at 5 a.m. ready to tackle the day.
All right. Now, what is your favorite way to start the day, Amy?
You know, um, I've recently started meditating and doing breath work. And I don't know, some people may or may not be aware of breath work, but that's something that I do every morning before I even get out of bed. I have my breath work coach, Daisy Mack from
Mhm.
Spiritual Mixtape, and she has guided me to really embrace and empower this practice because it's really helpful not only in a daily life but also in a business sense. And I like to say that it kind of clears the cobwebs out of your head, because as humans we don't breathe normally, so breath work really helps with that.
Yeah, I can see that it's working well with you now. Next question. Dogs or cats?
Dogs, for sure. I have a King Charles Cavalier that happens to be laying right next to me. Which,
Hello.
yes, she's like my Chatterbox mascot.
Wow. Okay, man. All right. Now, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received is know your power. Know what's within you. You've got this. You can do this. And if you know your own power and what you're able to do with it, then there's no stopping you.
All right. Now, next question. What is your favorite word or favorite book that changed your life?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. So The Gap and the Gain, I already talked about that. I think that's an excellent book that, everyone should read. I'm currently reading Worthy by Jamie Kern, and that's an incredible book talking about, self-confidence and, just really putting your self-confidence out there. So that one is currently changing my life. So yeah, I would say those two right now. I mean, I could list more, but your show's only an hour.
Oh, all right. Now, what's your favorite hobby outside of work?
My favorite hobby outside of work. So I really enjoy going to the spa.
That's
um,
nice.
so yeah, it's fun. It's relaxing. It really kind of takes me away from the daily grind. But I would say that and traveling with my kids.
All right. Now, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Oh my goodness. My favorite childhood memory. You don't prepare us for these questions.
Yes.
My favorite childhood memory, probably going to Disneyland. When I grew up in Southern California,
Mhm.
although I've lived in Arizona for most of my life, and I was actually born here. When I grew up, I lived in California, and we didn't live far from Disneyland. And I used to go to Disneyland before it was even popular. So
All right. Disneyland it is. Now, in three words, how would your friends describe you?
outgoing, kind, and loyal.
Loyal. All right. Very nice. Now, what advice would you give your younger self? This is the last question for this round.
Go with your gut. Your gut tells you everything. And if you have a feeling in your gut that is telling you to go for it or
Mhm.
to continue with pause or go with your gut.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So, a big thank you, Amy, for being such a good sport and answering all these random questions of mine. It's been truly an honor getting to know you better.
Yeah, thank you. Those were fun questions.
All right, now it's time for the next part of our show. But before we continue on that, let's acknowledge one of our viewers here. It's Karina Lemire. Thank you for being here with us. Stay on and ask your question, Karina. All right. So, but before we jump into that, right, to the next segment, if you're enjoying the show, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel. Our handle is at Ritzel-Rectra. And to our live audience, just like what I've said to our Miss Karina here, keep those questions coming for the Q&A session later. All right, now let's continue to the next segment. All right, where we will have the opportunity to learn even more from Coach Amy here, expertise in our Learn from the Expert segment. So we'll play out the segment title. All right, now welcome back, amazing fun bums, to Talking Business with Ritz. Now grab your pens and notebooks because you won't want to miss these game-changing strategies here in the Learn from the Expert segment. Now that we have, now that we have the pleasure of getting to know Amy Bartko, let's move to our first topic. All right. So our first topic is sales confidence turning doubts. Sorry. Is this the one? Oh, yes. So sales confidence turning doubts into dollars. All right. Okay, now Amy, many entrepreneurs wonder why PR is essential for their brand, regardless of its size. Let me just double check. I think we have a
Yeah.
uh, yeah, we do. Let me just double check that. I believe it wasn't saved earlier. Amy Bartko. All right, here we go. Let me update that right now. Apologies, everyone. And here we go. So here is our first topic. Showing it now, why PR is important for all brands. So, Amy, many entrepreneurs wonder why PR is essential for their brand. Okay. Now, regardless of its size, could you share some insights on how PR can actually benefit businesses, even the smaller ones like ours?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this question because a lot of people, they have the misconception that PR is only for large brands, and that, is definitely not the case. PR is having a third party talk about your brand and your products. And by having a third party speak to your products, is the most credible thing that you can absolutely have. So if you take PR is a formula. It's building brand awareness. It's gaining visibility to earn credibility, which in the end result will achieve profitability. So I'll say that again. You're building brand awareness, you're gaining visibility. And there are so many brands out there, especially the small brands that spend all of this money curating their logo, their, product, if they're a product-based brand, and they've spent all of this money curating this company, and they leave no money for marketing. And PR does definitely fall under marketing, right?
Right.
So if you have your PR in place and you're having people like, Good Housekeeping or Today Show or, Forbes magazine, if you have these top tier publications speaking to your products, then that absolutely gives you the credibility. So no matter what size your product, your company is, you should be looking for that third party talking about your product.
All right, so I'm going to ask this again. So, for entrepreneurs who may be skeptical about investing in PR, so if you mentioned it earlier, so what other tangible outcomes or results can they expect to see from effective PR strategies?
That's another great question. So a lot of people feel that PR is sales, and it's not. I mean, you're not. It's not sales. It's just not. If you're covered in Forbes magazine, will you get traffic to your website? Yes, you absolutely will. But what really helps with that Forbes article is how you leverage it. How you talk about the fact that you were in Forbes magazine, where you put it. I mean, there's so many different places for you to shout that from the rooftops. By doing that, that is what's going to move the needle and really start to have your brand noticed more frequently. Did I answer
All
your
right. Yes. Yes, Amy.
well,
Yes, yes.
okay, so let me dive deeper into that if that's
All
okay.
right. Okay, go ahead.
So let's take the Forbes, magazine coverage, for example. If
Mhm.
you're in Forbes or a Huffington Post or She Knows or Today Show, that absolutely should be on the front page of your website. Because, when people are researching your brand, whether you're a service-based brand or whether you're a product-based brand, they are going to your website. That's just it is just what people do today. They look to your website to find more information about you. And if you have on the front page of your website that you've been in Huffington Post, Forbes magazine, that is instant credibility. I mean, think about your own buying habits. If you're going to other people's website and you see that, how does that make you feel? And if you take your own feelings in something like that, then that's exactly what other people are feeling as well.
Okay, that's very interesting. All right, now, Amy, could you share some other practical tips or strategies for entrepreneurs like us who want to start incorporating PR into our business growth plans?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, I don't think I fully answered your other question because you had asked, about the cost of PR and, small brands versus large brands. So I'm going to answer both of those questions in
Go
this
ahead.
question.
Yeah.
So some of the strategies that you can take, because a lot of people, a lot of brands, especially smaller ones, are intimidated by PR because it is expensive. It is. PR is very expensive because, like myself, we work really hard to curate and build relationships, and by building really strong relationships and knowing who to go to and how to get brands, products, or services covered, that is the key to PR, right? Because that will be your end result. That is what's going to have brands feel that their campaign is successful.
Mhm.
So by putting together a really strategic brand strategy, like one of my clients right now is partnering with a celebrity for one of their products. So we're in the process of booking out uh, interviews with various publications, as well as talking about it across the media, to have the media cover it.
Yeah.
That, because of the celebrity relationship, is a little bit easier, because you have that celebrity endorsement, and that's not what everyone is going to have. So that's not lost on me, for sure. But some of the strategies that you can do for your own PR strategy is setting up, Googling your competitors. Who is your biggest competitor and
Mhm.
where are they being covered in the media? Um, and and now I'm kind of diving into how to do it. Am I jumping ahead?
A little bit. Okay. So good
Okay, so
segue for the next topic.
you want me to wait?
Yeah, so our yeah, so how to leverage, that will be third topic. So we will go for the do's and don'ts of pitching in the video, or do you want to talk about the how to leverage first? I think that will be that will be the best segue for this question.
Okay. So how to leverage, we
Yeah.
kind of talked about, putting it on your website, posting it on your social channels, making
Mhm.
sure that everybody knows about it. If you are a product-based business, I kind of talked about this a little bit, but let's dive deeper into it. If you're a product-based business and you were just at a trade show, buyers are walking by, your booth, and your goal is to obviously have these people pick your, product up, whether it be in Whole Foods, Target,
Yeah.
Macy's, wherever it might be. Um, by leveraging your coverage, because these buyers, they want to know that you are doing your diligence on your marketing strategy. They want to know that you have a PR strategy in place. So by leveraging, putting on your website, having a really robust social channel,
Mhm.
um, for your social media, LinkedIn, um, Facebook,
Instagram.
you, and Instagram, even Twitter, or is it X? I don't know. I'm still a Twitter girl. Um, so by making sure all of your uh, channels are covered with the coverage, that absolutely is how you leverage it. Even in your newsletters, if you don't have a newsletter that, is going out to your audience, to your own audience, posting, hey, look at our feature in Forbes magazine, or, we were just on the Today Show. That definitely, it gives your brand more credibility. And which that credibility, again, going back to having a third party speak about your brand, speaks volumes rather than you speaking about your own brand. I mean, taking out an ad, doing Facebook ads, Google ads, that's all great, because a lot of times that's what's necessary, right? But
Right.
having a third party speak to your brand speaks volumes.
All right. Now, what are some common mistake people make when trying to pitch? How can they avoid them also?
Okay, so common mistakes. I've some of the tips that I have for you. So, one of the common mistakes that people make is when they are pitching a journalist, they will dive right into the pitch. What what you do and what I do, before I send out a pitch, I'm reading the journalist, latest post on social media. I
Yeah.
know it sounds a little bit stocky, but I know what they did, the weekend before. I know if they were on a trip with their family. I know the latest articles that they wrote. So when you open up your email to, send the email to them, you're doing those niceties. You are talking with them about what it is that they've been, if they went to Alaska, for spring
Mm-hmm.
break, or if they wrote an article, on how to clean your linen closet and, the tips and tricks for that. Whatever it is that they have done most recently, that should be the opening paragraph of your pitch. By just pitching a journalist with random questions,
Mm-hmm.
or just rolling right into your pitch, I mean, and
Yep.
just saying, here, cover my product. They're going to delete, they won't open your email. They will, I mean, journalists receive anywhere between 400 and 600 emails per day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that leads me to, your subject line. Your subject line really should be, it should pop out of their inbox. I mean, it should be something that is very eye catching, not just, hey, look at our Easter, products. If you're a product based business and you're in Amazon, or if you have an affiliate partnership,
Mm-hmm.
mention those in your subject lines. The best Easter must-haves for or the best must-haves for Easter, affiliate friendly, or on Amazon, or whatever it might be. So there's a lot of tricks that and tips that PR experts do put in place in order to make sure that the journalist is actually opening your email.
All right. So that's probably in the do's and don'ts of reaching the media. So this is our third topic right now. So that is a good advice. So on the flip side, what are some major don't, aside from what you said, that don't go straight to the pitch, right? So
Yeah.
what are yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you don't want to go straight to the pitch. Do your research. I mean, I know I just said that, but I can't say that enough. Do your research. I mean, and like, I just had a dinner with a journalist the other night, and she's reading a pitch. Um, she pulled out her phone because I had stepped away from the table for a second. And when I came back, she's like, look at this pitch. They literally put her name in bold letters and exclamation points in the subject line. Don't ever do that.
Like you're shouting, right?
Well,
Oh, for me, that's shouting.
that's exactly what she said. She goes, they're like yelling at me in the subject line. And, we had a good chuckle about it, So the other thing is, a big don't for journalists is if you see a roundup that has, and a roundup is like a list of a bunch of different products, I keep going to Easter because Easter is right on our heels, right? So you have this lineup of different things that are, best for the Easter basket. If that just came out today, do not reach out to the journalist on Monday and say, hey, I've got a great product for your article. The article already came back. They are not going back to rewrite it. And I can't tell you how many people do this, but that really puts a bad taste in the journalist's mouth. A lot of people, so I know I'm jumping ahead to the pitching, but if we kind of take about 10 steps back, how do you find your journalist, right? And these are really good tips for you if you're trying to execute a PR strategy in-house. First is set up the Google alert on your competitors and set up a Google alert on your own brand. Okay. And look through that, because when you receive the Google alert on your competitors or what you strive to be or where you strive to be, then you're going to get a list on a daily basis of the different publications that are covering your category, your space. So by looking at this list of, Good Housekeeping or, today.com or whatever it might be, you open up the article and you look to see who wrote it.
Oh, okay.
And then you Google the journalist. And then you see all of the different publications that the journalist has written, or articles, and who they write for, because 90% of journalists are freelance writers right now. They are, working for a big magazine conglomerate. That's not, there's very few that are working for big magazines. So, and the good thing about freelancers is a lot of them write for 10 to 20 publications. So pitching them one pitch may get you multiple coverage. So going back to the Google alert. So Google your, journalist. And then, you can slowly find their information there. Look at their Instagram, look at their Twitter page. Some of them have their contact information in their bios on Instagram and Twitter. So that would be my suggestion as far as, a big do for the do's and don'ts. And then another don't would be don't pitch on the weekends. Mondays and Fridays, their inboxes are typically really heavy. So I always like to pitch Tuesday through Thursday and, in the morning hours. And if that's hard for you and you have a lot of time during the weekend, you can, and that's when, you feel like you get a lot done. And especially if you're a small business and you're trying to execute your own PR strategy and run your business at the same time, you can always schedule your emails to send on a certain day and time. And if you don't have that, within your email platform, that's something that, there's other plugins that you can always subscribe to give you that ability.
Right. All right. Those are great do's and don'ts. I do have one question though, because you've been talking about products. These are tangible products, you're saying, or Or my question really is, does it apply to other businesses like coaching, like service providing?
Absolutely. This is exactly the same, whether you're a product based business or whether you are a service based business. Most of my retainer clients are product based businesses, and that's why I keep referring to the products. But your PR strategy for service, for products, they are identical. The only difference being is you're not going to be on Amazon, right?
Yes. Well, wait, if they have
Yeah.
a product, if they have a product like books, all right, they'll be there.
Well, absolutely. Yes, exactly. Yeah, a lot of service-based, coaches and they write
Mhm.
books, which they would be on Amazon. So yes, the strategy is exactly the same.
Oh, interesting. Um, you're talking about journalists, right? Are they like people like bloggers as well, or other influencers who write things like vlogs?
That's an excellent question. And um journalists are who write for, Good Housekeeping and Parents and, today.com. Bloggers are a whole different category.
Oh,
You should treat them the same. You should pitch them the same. You should, I mean, if you want them to open and read your email, then absolutely they should be considered the same. Because a lot of bloggers, it's interesting because, 15 years ago, when influencer marketing was, just a blip on everybody's radar,
mhm.
a lot of the influencers today were once bloggers.
Oh, and
Yeah.
then they turn into video bloggers.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now, how about this platform? Are we considering this as part like a PR tool or something? I
Doing
don't know.
well,
I'm just asking.
you know what? I love this question because podcast interviews and interviews like this are absolutely something that you should be implementing into your strategy because this gives you visibility, and actually it gives you um it gives you the ability to speak as an expert on your topic. Like today, I'm speaking on PR and
Yeah.
marketing and how to market your, brand. So, doing a podcast have a 54% conversion rate. And when
Mhm.
I say 54% conversion rate, which is one of the highest conversion rates of all, across the board, right? Television, print, blogs. Um, Typically, when bloggers or hosts, talk show hosts like yourself, they have a it's like an intimate relationship. You have this really genuine conversation with somebody, and when the listener is sitting there listening to this, it's like they feel like they're the only one in the room, right? Whether
Mm.
you're driving in your car or wherever you're listening um, to your podcast, that it's just, yeah, it's like you're listening to your best friend.
True.
And typically, if somebody is engaged with the podcast host, um, so much so they appreciate and really take into account the advice and the speakers that they have on, and often will, visit the website of, whoever the speaker was. And that's where the conversion rate comes in. It's not necessarily that there's actually, a purchase, which often there are, but the conversion rate really is the engagement that the audience has with the guest.
All right. So we can consider this as like top of funnel part of the marketing strategy, isn't it?
Absolutely. You should absolutely be tapping into podcasts.
All right, that is mind blowing. All right, now this is another incredible live interview, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now, okay, yes. Oh, all right. We do have, okay, let's go start with the question and answer. Our Q&A. And let me segue to that right right now. Okay, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the Q&A portion right now, segment right now, and we do have a live question from our audience, and I'm going to flash that now. Karina, if you're still here, listen to the answer to your question. All right, here we go. She asked, can you explain what is a brand for those who don't know?
Brand is a business. So, I say brand because it's general, but Chatterbox is a brand. Carter's is a brand. Britex is a brand. Suave is a brand. So really, it's the company, but it's marketing speak for what your company is. Rather than calling it a company, we call it brand.
All right. Next question. Here we go. How do I know if my PR efforts are working, and what are some telltales, okay, of success to look out for?
That's a great question as well. If your PR is working, if you're being covered by the third parties, if you are, if people are picking you up, meaning if the magazines and publications are actually writing about you. If not, then take a look at your strategy and how are you doing it. Are you blind pitching? Yeah, are you developing that relationship with a journalist? I mean, that it could be something as easy as that.
All right. Thank you for that. Next question would be, how do I measure the impact of PR coverage on my business's bottom line?
That's a great question. So PR is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So PR is not ROI in the sense of, sales. PR is not sales. So it's hard to measure, PR with sales because it's not going to have a direct reflection. I mean, Coke and Pepsi did not be these billion-dollar conglomerates by, not getting their name out into the world and having it covered in all of these different publications. So PR is getting the visibility and building the brand awareness. If you're getting visible and your brand is out there, then the PR is working. And you just need to keep up with that method and continue to build that credibility, because the more credibility you have, the more you're going to see it in your bottom line.
All right. Now, we are service providers, just to add to that one, I believe if clients, your ideal client starts knocking on your door, right? Start sending you emails. Are you available for this kind of work? Or sending you a DM like, do you accept clients right now? I think that is a one gauge for us service providers that will say our PR strategy is working, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you asking if I'm accepting clients right now?
No. What I'm just trying to confirm whether my understanding of how we can gauge or the impact.
Right. With service providers, I mean, again, if you go back and think about what your buying habits are, if if you're a business coach and you have been quoted in Forbes magazine, or you've been, quoted in some entrepreneur business success or Well and Good, or, whatever the publication is,
Yeah.
if you are covered, as a service provider in these publications, that gives you credibility. And so, somebody investing in you, it's going to give them a little bit more comfort if they're like, oh wow, she was covered in Forbes, she must be good, right? um oh wow, she was on, in Well and Good, she must be good. So by, even with the service providers, it does, it really is all the same. You're building brand awareness, you're gaining that visibility, and with all of that visibility, that's what the credibility is. So that's how you can measure the bottom line, is by continuing to put yourself out there and be visible.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now, next question would be, are there any affordable PR tactics that small businesses can implement without actually breaking the bank?
Yeah, this is a great question because PR is expensive, like I said early on. It starts at $5,000 a month, and that's not lost on, any of us, that small companies can't afford it. And that's and there are tactics out there that can teach you um, how to do PR yourself and how to reach out. I mean, just by implementing some of the tips that I've given you here today,
Mhm.
that is a really good way for you to start your own PR strategy. Create that Google alert. Start researching all of the publications that you desire to be in. Who are the journalists that are writing the articles that that you think, wow, I could have been here. Start researching all of that, and by putting those small tips in place, you can easily execute your own PR strategy in house.
All right. Okay, this next question is quite interesting. How do I handle negative press or PR crisis effectively without damaging my brand's reputation?
This is a hard question to answer because what is the negative press? I mean, negative could be. This is a difficult question to answer because, and I'll give an example of a product-based business.
All right.
So there have been lots of controversy about those portable sleep beds for babies.
Ah,
So there have been a lot of negative, and that is a crisis, right? When a baby is injured in one of these beds, then absolutely. So that is obviously a crisis situation. But negative press for a service-based business, that I think you just handle it delicately. You have to really take a look at what the negative press is,
mm-hmm.
and think of what your response would be. This is really a difficult question to answer, and I'm sorry that I'm kind of all over the place here, but without knowing what the negative press is, and it's hard to, because this answer is
It's a
not the
case to case
same.
basis, right?
Yeah, the answer to this question is not the same for every single person. It is different for every single situation.
Okay, but in general, we must handle all this negative PR, negative PR delicately. Nicely.
Very delicately. Yeah. I mean, one of the things you don't want to do is become defensive. I guess that would be the main thing that you want to take into consideration is don't start defending your brand. Start, digging into what the actual crisis is.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for answering that question. Yeah. So
Kind
are
of.
you kind of, but it's okay, yeah, because
Sorry.
yeah, as you said, it is really a case to case basis. But for us service providers, what we ought to do is like yeah, what you've said, identify what is that crisis really is, be empathetic enough, to acknowledge the whatever the feeling of the complainer and what's happening to her, and then yes, handle it nicely with finesse.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes negative is just the feeling that that person had, right? It's not
True.
actually, negative. The circumstance may not have been negative at all. It's just what that
True.
person walked away with.
True.
But
True. True.
getting it in the press is not fun, right?
Exactly. All right. Now, thank you very much for sharing your valuable insights with us today. So it's been incredibly informative and eye-opening, right? So now that let's dive into the work with the expert segment, where actually Amy here will share her offers and how we can work with her to elevate our PR game. Are you ready, Amy?
I'm ready.
All right. Now let's stay tuned. Stay tuned, everyone. All right, welcome back, fantastic Pambams. In today's episode, we gain valuable information from Amy Bartko, our guest, our expert guest speaker right now on mastering PR for brands of all sizes. All right, now we've learned the importance of PR for brand growth, the do's and don'ts of pitching the media effectively, and how to leverage the PR coverage the right way. Now, what Amy had shared in the Learn from the Expert segment are very crucial for any businesses looking to enhance their brand visibility and credibility through strategic PR efforts. Now, Amy had shared so many golden nuggets that you would not want to miss, so watch the replay, all right? Now, it's not just about absorbing the information, but implementing them into our business and our lives, right? Amy provided us with lots of do's and don'ts. Those are the tips and tricks, all right, that we can actually implement on our business. So let's strive to progress, not perfection, all right? Now let's move forward with the work with the expert segment to discover how our audience can benefit from Amy Barco's expertise. Now, Amy, can you tell us about the offerings that or services you provide as a peer expert? So the stage is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's several different ways to work with me. I've learned in my business that, I have PR retainers where, I do everything for brands, businesses, companies. So I execute, from A to Z, the whole PR strategy. And I now have offers that are really good for smaller businesses. So I have a PR consulting offer that where I build out a customized roadmap for brands that and teach them exactly how to execute a PR strategy in-house. And then I have a offer that I'm in the process of launching, and it's Digital Academy. So it's a digital course that people can learn to do PR at their own pace. So those are my three PR offers. And then I have celebrity and influencer seeding which is seeding. Some people get confused. So celebrity and influencer marketing, where I can, put, if you're a product-based business, put your products into the hands of celebrities and influencers, as well as product placement on television and movies.
Interesting. No wonder it's expensive. Yeah, that's fantastic, Amy. And for our audience who are interested in working with you, where can they find more information, or how can they
Um,
reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Amy Bartko on LinkedIn. You can also find me on Instagram, Chatterbox PR and Marketing on Instagram.
Mhm.
And you can always visit my website, chatterboxbrands.com.
All right.
Yep. So, yep, it's scrolling on the screen now. So if you, you can find me in those places.
All right. Yeah, I didn't look there, but what I found is the one in Facebook. All right. So you can also they can also contact you here in Facebook, is it?
Oh yes, sorry. Facebook.
All right.
Where we're actually live. Yes, you can contact me on Facebook as well.
All right.
And
Now,
my company Facebook is Chatterbox PR and Marketing as well.
all right. All right. So they can simply search Chatterbox PR. All right.
Yes.
Okay, now Pam Bam, if you're looking to take your brand to the next level with strategic PR, be sure to check out Amy's offer. Don't miss out this opportunity to work with her and visit her website, which is running at the bottom, chatterboxbrands.com with an S, brands.com. All right. And can contact her with in all the socials that she mentioned earlier: Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. You can search Chatterbox PR or her handle, which is Amy Bartko. All right.
I'd love to give your audience a free a takeaway if that's okay.
Sure, sure.
So what I've prepared for your audience is a short list of the do's and don'ts, as well as a pitch tracker, or a pitch template. So you can customize this pitch template, and then there's a pitch tracker. So you want to know who you're pitching, and keep track of who you're pitching and all of their information. So these three things will set you up for success.
All right. Very interesting. That's nice. Thank you very much, Amy. All right. Now, all right, Pam Bam, I encourage you to reflect on the golden nuggets and all the value bombs that were shared by Amy Bartko today. Remember that implementation is the key to progress, right? And yes, and that wraps up another informative episode of Talking Business with Ritz. So this is a very, very incredible conversation with you, Amy. I've learned a lot. Journalist is, you see, there's journalist. I didn't even know about that. All right.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been great. And, I'm happy to share all of these tips and tricks with your audience. So,
all right. Now, don't forget to post in our group if you're not in the Talking Business group. Every Friday, you can pitch there on the wall. So, yes. And we hope to have you again in the future, Miss Amy, in the next and future episodes of Talking Business with Ritz.
thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Amy Bartko. All right, thank you once again, my fam bam, for joining us today. Next on Talking Business with Ritz. Let me just do the closing. So next on Talking Business with Ritz, our guest speaker is an integrative medicine doctor. So it's quite a little bit farther from what we're talking right now, but we have to take care of ourselves as well. All right, now let me just put yeah, like that. All right, she will be talking about revolutionizing healthcare approach by her unique and holistic mind-body approach to wellness. So let's find out how she had successfully combined the best of the Eastern wisdom and the Western medicines. Join us again next week. Mark your calendar on March 30th, Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Or if you are on the other side of the world, all right, let's meet on the same date, March 30th, Saturday at 11 p.m. All right, until next, here we go. Until next time, keep hustling, everybody. Stay inspired and keep thriving. This is Ritzel Loredo-Rectra and our expert guest here, Amy Bartko. Stay safe, everybody, and healthy. And let's continue talking business with Ritz.
Bye.